Today, I wanted to talk about the three hard truths of coaching, especially at an amateur level, especially at sort of at the level that I'm dealing with at the moment, and especially as a young head coach or a younger head coach, should I say. So, number one, you're not one of the boys anymore. As much as you would love to be, as much as you would love to be the life and soul of all the parties and all the socials, you're really not. And that's a really hard thing to accept. That's a really hard thing to move forward with, especially if you have been that player that's always centre stage, that one that's always wants to drink more and always wants to be the starter of all the games and all the drinking games being in charge of. And it's a really different dynamic when you become a coach because you simply can't do those things. You can't be that person because as a coach, you are going to have to make some difficult decisions and you're going to have some difficult conversations. And you might have to upset some people, whether who's playing or who's the substitute or if they're going to get on, all those type of things. And you need to make sure that you have the correct relationship with the lads that are around you. You're not just one of the lads anymore. You can't be just one of the lads anymore. And I was really lucky. The club that I went back to coach, I'd played there for obviously quite a long time, but the boys that I'd played with had moved on. They'd either retired or they'd stopped playing or they'd become kind of more senior or a bit more hit and miss rather than being in, week out players that I was going to see every day. So actually, for me, that made it a little bit easier because the guys that I was coaching, they didn't know who I was. I hadn't played with them. They didn't know me for a player. They didn't really know me from anybody, to be honest with you. And I just came in and was able to kind of put forward my own stamp on things alongside the head coach at the time as well. Number two, things will go wrong. Like I said, I'm a amateur rugby coach. This isn't professional. These guys don't get paid to play. They pay to play. And that brings its own challenges, whether that be only 4 people turn up to a training session. What do you do with that? People go out and get drunk and don't turn up on a Saturday, or they miss their alarms, or they get sick, or the people that you were really hoping that would play that weekend have got a wedding to go to, or they're going out with their friends. You've got to remember that this is a choice. It's a lifestyle choice for people. And sometimes it's just not going to go right. Sometimes you turn up, you play somebody who is just simply better than you, and nothing goes right, everything goes wrong, and there's nothing you can do about it. And actually your role becomes more about picking those boys up rather than haranguing them or berating them for making mistakes against a better opposition. Not everything's going to go to plan. You're not going to be able to do everything that you want to all the time. And that's a really difficult thing to kind of understand as well as part of this journey. And that took me a very, very long time to appreciate. And number 3, coaching can be a very lonely place. For the boys that play, they get out there on their field, they put 100% in, they try and make a difference, and once the game's over, they've got their friends that they've shared that experience with, and they can move on from that. As a coach and as a overthinker myself, I find that really hard. Every loss or every draw, or even when you win, I am pulling apart the things that didn't go right and why they didn't go right. I am over analysing every decision that I made, every substitution that I made, every starter that I gave in whatever team that I'm coaching. I analyse every single part of that, and that's a really, really lonely place to kind of be. And on the field, if things were going wrong, I'd get the ball or I'd go and make a hit and try and make a difference. But actually, as a coach, you can't do that. When that game kicks off on a Saturday, actually your influence over that game is a lot more restricted than what you might think it is. And actually, a lot of your job is kind of formulating that training and making sure the training works well in terms of what you're trying to achieve. but it can be a really lonely place. Now, I'm really lucky that my assistant coach is also my best friend. And when things aren't going well, I get the opportunity to kind of talk through with him what's not been going right, what's going right, all those type of things. So I don't have that loneliness. But some days when those decisions and when things aren't going your way and it's just on your shoulders, you really do feel like you're on your own in this. And probably part of the reason why I wanted to start these videos is just share that feeling with you and give you that understanding that you're not alone. There is a wider group of people that will probably feel the same, and coaches of opposition that you come up against will probably feel the same as well in those moments. So I think it's really important to remember those 3 rules, and they are the hard truths of coaching. Something that nobody has probably told you before, but can have a massive impact on whether you enjoy that coaching or actually how long it's going to take you to appreciate those 3 rules. So, like, subscribe, follow. We're on all the platforms: Instagram, TikTok. Never used it before, so that's fun. And YouTube, all those type of things as well. So, if you like this sort of content, I'll keep it coming weekly. And let me know if you have any questions about rugby coaching or about rugby in general, and I'll do my best to answer them.